Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be making a video of the Mediterranean climate. So this is how it looks like in the winter. Um, it is not the highest quality picture, but it's what I found because there are not a lot of pictures of the Mediterranean in the winter. But it snows there, it's cold in the winter, but it is still quite nice there. There are a lot of trees there, and it's quite a dry climate, and many empires have been just like their lifeblood was the Mediterranean, just to make it shorter, like the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Empire, but they're more sitting. The Italian Empire. It's some caliphate maybe. And so like the winter months of the Mediterranean from like I think it's November to February where it's like snowing cold. Then spring comes around, and that is from March to June. And it is March here in Prague, and it is very nice, except it's kind of raining, cold, a little bit cold, moist. It's kind of like the Falklands or the Faroe Islands, but at least it's not extremely dry here. So the Mediterranean, I would say it's like around 20 degrees Celsius there in the spring to 25, 30, maybe, something like that. And it's quite a nice climate, dry climate. And a few thousand years ago, it would have been completely forested, except probably for North Africa. Probably would have been like around this background here, these trees here. Definitely the Mediterranean would be much greener. So you could find tons of forests. It could be moist, filled with life, and so could the sea. And that is kind of a problem because the whole world could have been like this, but since we've been around, we've kind of destroyed with our overpopulation. Which I hope it'll fix itself someday. But the Mediterranean, I would say, is a very nice climate. And when I was there in Croatia, and when I was there in Croatia, here around this is where Zadar is, it was very nice and it reminded me of the tropics because it was not cold at all. Well, the sea was, I don't know, kind of cold, but it was very nice, and it was quite moist, and they had great food there. And I wonder what the rest of the Mediterranean would be, because I've only been in Croatia with the Mediterranean, like being near the Mediterranean. I was here once, and then I was here, which was last year in September, September and August. So yeah, it was nice, very nice. Recommend going there. Yeah. And then there are also these type of pine trees there, but I found these trees in Croatia near the coasts, and these guys are a little bit darker than what they were in the Mediterranean climate, and like they were just these lighter ones, and this is not the lighter one, but the lighter ones, they're just so soft. They're really soft and they're really nice, and the darker ones are not as nice. And I don't know, I just like the ones that are brighter, the brighter needle trees. And then we have the summer, and this is like some bay, and this is supposed to be the summer there, and it looks very nice, which I think everybody knows, and I'm guessing this is in Turkey, maybe, and in Mediterranean climate, or just around it, it is around like 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, maybe even 45 if you're like in Libya or some other places in North Africa. And there are there are like a few really important islands, and those are Crete, which is here in the picture. The capital is Consus, I think. It's supposed to be somewhere around here, I think. And it was conquered by many nations. Like, for example, well, first nation that conquered it would have been... No, it's not Alexander the Great. That's later on. Well, what I can remember of what I've learned in history was the Romans, that it was the Alexander the Great, and it was the Ottomans. Even before the Ottomans, there was Genoa and Venice. Venice had Crete, yeah, and then the Ottomans took it. And then when the islands were on their decline, because they just did not have the technology, or just they were really underdeveloped, they lost the island, and Greece got this and got Crete. And once World War I started, the Entente powers were like attacking Greece to get them to join in to the Entente powers. It was not looking good for the Entente powers, and not too much for the Central powers either, because there are a lot of countries involved, and it was not looking good for either side. And then we've got Sicily, which I've never been to Crete or Sicily, but I imagine it's very hot and very dry. Probably not for a Central European, but Sicily was conquered. I think some parts of it were from Geneva and maybe Venice or Genoa. I don't know, but and there are nations conquering it, and then the Romans came through. And they were in the north here. Then they were fighting the Carthaginians and some other nation here. And another nation here. They're crying out for help. They wanted somebody to help them. They're just so helpless. And the Romans came through. They beat the Carthaginians out. And after they won the first Carthaginian war, they just took the whole island. It was Sardinia and Corsica. And I think Malta too. And then, after the Romans collapsed, the Byzantines had Sicily, and Naples had it, and Italy reunified, which was interesting, and then there was the Italian Empire, and then the Allies in 1943, it was in July, they landed in the south here, and they came through here. And I really like that the Allies were really aggressive whenever they made any like naval invasions, because they just moved really fast, took tons of supplies, just bombing everything, just really aggressive. And they came through here. The British were in the east, the Americans in the west, and since I think you guys all know that the Italians were very into fighting, especially with Mussolini. So, yeah, they barely put any resistance up except for the Nazis that had to come through here. And so the Americans went to the west, and I don't know how many, but just like some of the Americans, like their grandparents, were living in Sicily, so it was great for them. And the Germans was the Italians were in the north here near the Strait of Messina, and they were eventually pushed out by the Allies, and then Italy surrendered. But it did not mean that's over for Italy. Italy's fighting. And we've got Cyprus. Now, Cyprus seems like a great place until it's Sicily and Crete. But then again, it could be more forested. And there are some things that I do not like about Cyprus. Is one, why Turks and like I would like if all the countries left and Cyprus could be an independent nation, because why Turkey, why Greece, why UK? And buffer zone, blah blah blah. It's annoying. And I'm thinking that this if the British decided, like, let's say, how about instead of we put the land for the Jews for the Holy Land, their sacred place, we can put them to Cyprus, where nobody will attack them. It's an island, and it's very close to their climate, and they're isolated, so nobody attacks them, and they don't attack anybody else. But I don't think Israel really attacked anybody, because most of the time they're like triggered by some fighting. But in this place would be great if it was reunified as a single independent nation. And there are nations that had it for a while. The Romans, Ottomans, and I keep forgetting about Genoa and Venice, but Genoa or Venice had part of this island, or the whole island. I think it was Genoa. And the Ottomans had it. Then the British came through and kicked the Ottomans out. And then it was a colony for I don't know how long, until the 70s. And then they got their independence. And boom, Greece and Turkey not very happy. Like, they're really angry with each other. So they split up the island. I don't know what the Brits are doing here. Weird. But so that's Cyprus, and like Cyprus seems like a great place for Jews, because it's just nothing's gonna be. They won't have to worry about being attacked. Just they can be in their own little world where they can be as happy as they want. They don't have to worry about the outside world. And then there was fall. Now, fall in the Mediterranean is, I don't know, I've never been there during the fall, but I'm guessing it goes from 25 to like 10 degrees Celsius, cools off, and I don't know much about the Mediterranean climate. I've been there. It's really nice. And Mediterranean has plenty of mountains, plenty of islands, and just nice. And the fall starts off from September, I would say like more like October to November or December. That seems really short. Well, so that was the seasons of the Mediterranean. And it's time to show you guys some empires that were around it. Oh, and also there are these, it's not cypress trees. What was the name of this tree? It was this cypress tree, and that's my nickname for it for now. And I don't know, either this guy is really short or this tree is really big. I'm assuming that the guy is really short, but this is one of those trees, and they grow. I would say in the driest parts of the Mediterranean, maybe not Libya, maybe I don't know. And then we've got the Roman Empire, which is an example for all the empires that were around it. So they started off in Rome, they got to the coast, they slowly expanded, they got to the south, north, and they fought off Carthage. Then they got through the north, Iberia, and they were expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. Their only real enemy was Persia. Then the Roman Empire collapsed, and they were divided east and west. I think this is east. Yeah, something like this. This is where the Byzantines were, and they captured some lands like Sicily, Sardinia, and that type of stuff. And then there are the Ottomans. They got all the way to Morocco. They made a landing in Italy like here, but they didn't really get any serious land. And the Ottomans were around the Arabian Desert, Mesopotamia. Oh, and also the Romans got to the Caspian Sea, which is around here. They got to the Persian Gulf, Red Sea, the Bay of Biscay, Black Sea, and all the coast of the Mediterranean. That's kind of lifeblood. Then England, and that type of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye.